Hey guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to bring you another fabulous Glowforge tutorial today. I always love working with my Glowforge, but guys, this is probably one of my favorite projects in a long time. What are we making? A wood sign! Okay guys, so what I did is I went ahead and opened up my SVG file in Silhouette Studio because this is where I'm going to just make a few very basic modifications, not to the file itself, but I'll show you in just a minute. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and modify my page setup panel. I'm going to change my machine to none. And that way I can manipulate the media size to whatever I want it to be. Now my Glowforge cuts, the sheets are up to 12 by 20. So that is the media size I'm going to input under custom. And that will help me set up the sizing if I need to. Now another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw two rectangles. The first one will also be 12 by 20. So that's going to be 20 inches wide and 12 inches high. So I'll go ahead and center that to page. And then I'm going to do an internal offset. And I want my internal offset, I can do 1.5 inches. I can do 1 inch. Let's see, I think 1 inch looks good. I just want to make sure my corner is set to square, and I'll hit apply. Now I can go ahead and size this for whatever size I want it to be. And I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to choose make a compound path. And when I fill this in, maybe this will help explain it a little bit more on what I'm doing. I'm going to use the Glowforge to cut every piece of this sign. All right, so let me turn off that red line. It just looks a little weird to me. I'm a very visual person. Okay, so obviously I cannot cut, not easily anyway, I cannot cut the full 12 by 20. Okay, but with two sheets, so this is going to take two boards, all right, because I'm going to need one board that's going to be my background and another board that is going to be the frame that you're seeing here, and then also the words. So I need to break up this file. So I'm actually going to create a duplicate of the frame itself, and I can just release the compound path and take out the inside one. So basically this will be my background. Let's actually fill it in with like a gray. And then this will be the sign itself. All right, so let's layer these all together and I'll show you why. Okay, so the gray is my background, the tan is my frame, the black is my words. Now what I want to also do, I'm going to select the frame and the words, and I'm going to create a duplicate. I just copied and pasted. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to right click and choose make a compound path, and then I can fill these in with whatever color. Let's go ahead and stick with black. And then over here, what I want to do is take the frame off, and I want to leave these words because I want it to cut around the outside, and then I also want to score. I want to score these letters here. All right, and that's what's going to help me get that placement around, or rather the exact placement of where I want to put my wood cutout over here. Now there is one more trick that I want to show you. So let's zoom in. Because the problem is that once I score this, I want to make sure that I can't see those scoring after I put the letters on top. So I'm going to change my fill to transparent, and I'll turn on a line for you guys. So I'm going to do an internal offset. One of the catches is I want to watch these letters down here because my internal offset is large enough right now that you actually can't see any offset on those letters. So I'm going to scale it all the way down to 0 and just increase to give myself a little bit of an offset. Okay, so I'm going to stop at the 0.035 and then group those together. So now if I select the outside line and delete it, see how it's just going to barely draw those for me. And then on the hello, it will be slightly on the inside. So that will help me line these up, but my score lines won't show. So then it'll be up to me, because I plan on painting the background white. And then I don't have to worry about doing multiple coats if I don't want to. So hopefully that's going to work really well for us. So I want to change this to something other than black. Let me see, we'll still do the gray for the background, and for the letters, let's just do red, and for over here, we'll do black. So then I need to line all of this up because the Glowforge is going to go off of line colors, so it doesn't matter that they're overlapping. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and just anywhere, let's see, I'll save to my downloads, SVG, and we will say, Hello Sweet Cheeks, modified. So now let's open up our Glowforge software. Okay, so once we're in the Glowforge software, which is just the website, app.glowforge.com, this is our modified file. We can just drag and drop that over and let the software do the processing for us. Now I am cutting this out of just the medium draft board. I got quite a few sheets with the Glowforge, and that's just what I'm going to use for the sign. It's going to be an inside sign, so I don't necessarily have to have wood. So here we are. The file has imported, and as you can see, I have each of my separate files over here. They're all one file, but separate parts of the file. So this is the frame and everything that we're going to cut, and then this part is the back, and then this is the scoring that we're going to do. So that's why we made them all different line colors so that it would break them out like that. Now we can go ahead and I'm just going to scale this by hand. And just remember that this grayed out area down here, that is the area that we cannot cut or engrave in. All right, so we made it to about almost 18 by almost 11. So that's not a bad size at all. Now let's go ahead and start working. Like I said, this is the medium draft board. The software did not pick this up, so we can just select it over here. There we go, medium draft board. And we can use the, now this will be cut, to go ahead and cut out this part of the file, and then we can choose ignore and ignore for these two. All right, that's because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this and pull those pieces out, and then we can go back and cut the back and engrave where the pieces are going to go, okay? So let's go ahead and hit print. So this part will take 8 minutes and 38 seconds. So I'm going to walk over to the machine and go ahead and get it started. All right, guys, so here we go. So these are the two boards that we used, okay? So let's imagine this real quick. The bottom is our scored piece, right? These are the letters that we took out and the frame. And this is the insert that we pulled apart. Now I'm gonna do another video and show you how we're gonna do this, but we are going to turn this into another sign. So super excited to show you guys how to do that. So what we're going to do is I am going to go ahead and separate each of these pieces, and we are going to remove the masking and paint them. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to paint the back of this white. Then I'm going to paint the frame a dark gray. And then I'm going to paint these letters black. Now I know that there are some hacks out there for painting before you cut, but because I did save the other part of that, I did not want to do that. So this is what we're going to do today. I am going to speed through the painting part just because I don't really have a lot of tips to show you other than I just have basic black and white acrylic paint. I have a mixing cup so that I can mix my gray. I just mix with these craft sticks, nothing special. And I paint with just regular 1-inch foam brushes. All right, so you're gonna see me remove the masking and get started on the painting process. All right, guys, so you definitely missed all the fun and excitement. Just kidding. But I don't know how well you can see in the video, but I can still see the hello outline here and also the outline for my letters down here. This is my dark gray border, and these are my black letters. All right, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through, here, let's slide, let's make some room. And I used this guy here, another great reason to save it. I used that piece to make sure that I was painting the front side of my letters. Otherwise, you just have to paint both sides and be prepared to match them up, but really, really helpful to hang on to that piece. So I have my trusty wood glue. All right, I've used it in every wood project video so far. I really, really love it. So that's what we're gonna use again today. And this time, what I'm going to do for this project is I'm just going to apply it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the hello. And I can be pretty sparing. We should not have any problems with needing a lot of glue for this project, but I am gonna make sure I cover every piece. All right, now I can align over my offset, and there, it was that easy. Like, boom, done. Now if I want to, I can go ahead and add my frame. That'll just help even more to make sure that everything looks great, and it does. Oh, before I forgot to tell you guys, I did take a piece of sandpaper, it's actually a sanding block that I got from the dollar store, and I did distress my sign a little bit, so that was intentional. I didn't want you guys looking at that and thinking that it wasn't. Be like, wow, she really can't even paint. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through letter by letter, and I do want to be sparing on this part. I do not want a whole bunch of glue because it will leak out the sides. All right, now we just add the same glue to our sign border. And one thing I love about this glue is there's no clamping, there's no anything like that you need to do. I just press it down into place. Now the only other thing that I'm going to do to give it a more cohesive look, now that my frame is on there, I am going to paint this in the same gray that I used for the border. All right, but I don't want to get too crazy, so I'm just going to Now, if I wanted a completely finished look, then of course I could also paint the back that same gray. I have plenty of it left. But guys, for the most part, that is my sign. And we use the score lines that we burned in there to get our perfect placement. So guys, how did you feel about our wood sign project? Hopefully you enjoyed that little hack on how to get your placement correct. It really, really helped me a lot. I really love the way that the sign turned out, and the pressure was off because I didn't have to worry about setting up that alignment on my own, okay? I'm not really a tape measure kind of girl, and getting that lined up correctly, I just know I would have got to the end and felt really disappointed about it. So I'm really, really happy to find that hack and to be able to share it with you guys. Now, of course, this sign is totally going home with me. This is going to hang up in my house because I love it that much. I really, really do. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those below. I love to hear from you guys. And if you have any video requests, I love to hear those too. I jot them all down in my notebook and work my way through because it's always important to me that I bring you guys the quality content that you want to see. Now, in return, if you don't mind, give us that quick subscribe, share with a friend, give it a thumbs up, a like. That's what keeps our little channel here going, guys. And you know, I always say it, but I do really appreciate every time you stop by to pay us a visit. And I'm going to wrap it up. But guys, seriously, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.